All right, welcome back. We're here trying to fight the monster called Cancer. Well, we're going to see some more monsters being hunted with JalBagel. So take it away.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. My name is JalBagel, and this is Monster Hunter World. I'm joined by my fantastic, amazing human being friend, Green Speed. Say hi, Green.
Hello.
And this is Monster Hunter World. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a world where we hunt monsters. The game is long. The speedrun's kind of long, so we're just gonna take it away right from the top. Green, you want to give me a countdown on go?
Yep. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, first thing you will notice if you've ever played this game, you may remember all the very unskippable cutscenes. Not anymore. We have a cutscene skip mod for that. But this is Monster Hunter World. That's our boat. This mountain hit it, and we're not happy about that. We're actually going to try to make an insurance claim against this mountain. Hopefully, the owner of this mountain has insurance. Surely, right? So we're going to go and, get a claim on our boat, because that's a nice boat, and we want that boat. This is Monster Hunter World. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a game where we run around and we hunt monsters, we use their body parts to make stronger equipment, and we fight even stronger monsters until eventually we fight God. But we won't be fighting God in this speedrun. Instead, this is going to go to the base game final monster, Xenojiva. Something else to talk about, the category that we're doing, is we're playing with add-ons. It's a subsect of equipment that was added later to the game, later when the game came out, a couple years actually, which allows us to use the Defender armor, which we're wearing right now, Defender weapons, Fairwind charm, and the early weapon upgrade pack, but most notably Defender armor and Defender weapons. Nice thing about those is that they're consistent. It makes the speedrun very consistent and very fast and very scriptable. And we'll talk about that a lot. We'll say the word script a bunch. Scripts are pretty much exactly what they... What is happening to you? Please, thank you. Oh my gosh. Don't you just love Zora Maduro's movement?
He's such a functional piece of geometry. I love him.
It's great. It's fantastic. Yeah, we'll be using that equipment because we can script out all the fights in this game. When we say script, we mean exactly that. A scripted out event from start to finish. So we'll do specific attacks, lock the monster in specific control to finish the fights as fast as possible. If you've played this game before, you know that there are 14 weapons in the game. We'll be using 2 of them throughout the run, Switch Axe and Sword and Shield. And it's actually a really cool route that I use. World record is done with just Sword and Shield, and second place, which Green has, is done with Switch Axe and Sword and Shield, right? You use both?
Yep.
Yeah, and they're only separated by time losses that Green shouldn't have lost. So we're pretty much doing the world record route here as well. But this is the beginning of the game. We're pretty much just going through a tutorial. That was the handler. She just stole a book and gave it to us, so now we're an accessory to crime. And this is the Ancient Forest. We'll be coming back here a bunch. But absolutely stunning game. This game came out 5 years ago, if you can believe it. Which is insane. It came out in 2018. But yeah, so this is kind of a tutorial section, which it's going to be introducing us to some new mechanics introduced in World. More specifically, stealth. Stealth is a mechanic in this game, which we will be abusing multiple times to lock monsters into certain AI. And then also track gathering, which was something that they introduced as kind of like a passive, learn more about a monster, gain research points kind of thing. It's neat, and we're forced to do it, which it takes some time, but not nearly as much time as it used to take. But right here, we're going to hide from these lizards very discreetly inside. Yeah, inside the bush. We are absolutely inside of it. At least our big toe is. And now we're just going to wait for the handler, and while I'm doing that, I'll change some settings. Most notably, the autosave feature. Saving loses time, so we're going to turn that off. And then some other things that I'm changing there are like turning off the scout flies, like the auto-targeting to scout flies, moving the camera to scout flies, getting rid of oh man, I don't even remember what we'd use. I just know how to do the menu. Changing camera distance, stuff like that. It's all pretty much just like comfort stuff. Nothing else that's like really impacts the game. But this is a footprint right here. Look at that gold footy. We're not going to grab this one, but we will grab a bunch later. But picking those up gives us research points towards a monster's investigation, and we'll be forced to use that later. Green, is there anything else that I'm forgetting before we run into Astera?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I covered it all. Speedrunning the intro to the intro discussion. We did it.
Oh my god. It happened.
Speedrunning commentary. So right here is Great Jagras, and whoa, who's that? None other than Matt Mercer himself. That's field team leader, also known as Matt Mercer. He's going to be showing us around the game and showing us around Astera here in a second, giving us some things to do. Just remember, FTL's a cool dude, and there's a skip for him. That's free. Right, Green?
Smile.
Smile.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely didn't miss it in what was world record at the time.
There was, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. All right, so this is Astera. This is kind of like our base of operations. This game is a hub-based adventure game. So between quests, we'll always come back to Astera here. And we'll come back here to like manage our inventory, pick up our next quest, maybe upgrade our equipment, those kinds of things. Astera is the slow hub. We'll unlock a much faster hub later. So we're going to try to do as little as we need to in Astera. But in this section of the game, you know, field team leader FTL wants to show us around the city, for lack of a better term. And while we're near him, we're actually forced to walk. You'll see right here we have this like walking speed. There's a couple of NPCs that are like this. We're gonna have 2 moments of this in this speed run. Once with field team leader, and then again later with the admiral. But what we're going to do up at the top of the stairs here is Mercer skip, where we're going to run out of his walking radius to start sprinting again, and then slip right past him so we can run across the bridge. It saves like, what, 10 seconds?
10, yep.
Yeah. But you may notice, too, that the hunters aren't talking in like English or Japanese or really any language. They are talking in their own language, and that's the Monster Hunter language. And we're just playing in that one specifically because it is faster during some text mashing scenes where the audio dialogue is linked to how quickly that text can be cleared. Little optimization, saves like 40 seconds, it's free. And you'll slip right on by. I feel like I almost missed that.
I think you were fine.
Got a quick
I always
moment
feel
for
like
a donation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is perfect time for it.
All right, well, we got a $20 donation from Yami Carroll 123 saying, "Love supporting this great cause and awesome speedrunners. Go Bagel, go!"
Thank you so much, Carol. She's always taking care of us.
Yeah.
So this is one of those scenes that I was talking about, how it's linked to the audio dialogue. It's just a little bit faster having it in Monster Hunter language. It's a free time save, so we take it. But now we're going to get our first weapon here, and we're going to start with Sword and Shield. But we'll never come back to this room. This is our bedroom. How nice this place is. Nice, cozy, communal. There's 2 cats in here, which is super exciting. Speaking of cats, my cat's being naughty. Hey, quit eating that. He's always up to nonsense. All right, let's get our SNS. Nice thing is that it's already equipped for us. All we have to do is just open that menu. All right, Green, you want to talk about the first quest that we do?
Yeah, so the first quest is a pretty simple one. We're just going to kill 7 of those lizards we saw earlier. The more important part of this quest, though, is we're going to utilize the end timer to gather some materials we'll need later on. So every quest has an end timer. By default, it's 60 seconds. We're going to be gathering materials to shorten that in the future.
Dude, what are you doing? He's adventuring. He's being ungovernable. I can't stop him. Yeah, so this quest is kind of cool. We're going to take advantage of small monsters' AI. And kind of after we slay a couple of them, we're going to manipulate them into a hallway where we're going to put a little fire trap, like a little campfire down. And that's going to damage them as they try to run in. So it's going to be slaying the last couple of monsters that we need while we go and slay the last one. Because there's 6 on the outside and a bunch on the inside, and we need to slay 7 in total.
Now, you said your cat was off exploring. Are you sure it's not off on an expedition?
Yeah, whatever he's doing it. He knows that I'm preoccupied right now. So we picked up a torch pod there. That's going to make our little bonfire. Do the safe 1 and 2. Man, these guys lined up so nice for me. Another one right there. One's absolutely going to sneak by that. That was not a good placement. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
Yep. So now we're going to utilize this timer to go and gather. We're looking for materials to capture a monster. So hunts in this game have 2 ways of ending. You can either kill the monster, which is what you'd expect. You hunt it down to 0, it dies. Quest ends as normal. Instead of that, you can hunt a monster down to 30% of its health, get it in a trap, and use 2 trank bombs. That'll end the quest right then, saving you the time of hunting that last 30% of its health, and will cut your end timer down from 60 seconds down to 20. So we are going to be capturing every monster that it's possible to capture in this run.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
All right, good. I just need to set up that menu. It's a little fast, a little rough to do sometimes, but all in all, good. So I'll be looking out for some RNG in these first couple of hunts. I'm looking for a green bone, and we got one, and we got our 2 small bones. I no longer have to look at the rewards. We're done.
Let's go.
Got that taken care of real quick. That's like one of the few parts of RNG that we actually look out for. Make a quick stop to the provisions supplier right there, the stockpile, and got a trap tool that's part of the capturing system that Green was talking about. And then now we get to get our first defender weapon. So I was talking about these weapons earlier. There is a category of weapons called defender weapons, and they have guaranteed upgrades for like normal story progression, which is really nice. They're literally designed for speedrunning. So we'll always get the upgrade material for it. It's very, very inexpensive to upgrade, and by the end of this speedrun, it'll be the strongest weapon in the game for this part of the game. It's the strongest weapon out there, which is insane. But defender weapons come with high amount of raw damage. They come with a decent amount of sharpness, and then they have an ailment on them called Blast. And it's exactly what it sounds like. After every couple of hits, the weapon explodes, dealing damage. It's a fixed amount of damage, so it actually does a lot to the monsters that we'll be hunting, especially very early. And we're really not even like dependent on that. That's just like a little added bonus. We really just want the weapon and their immense amount of raw that they have in comparison to other early weapons. This is a Kestodon Kerfuffle, though. It's a 2-part quest. We're first going to hunt some Kestodon, which this is a little RNG, and we spent a lot of time trying to like figure out how to optimize this and like go fast in this part, and it's just it's a mess. It's a kerfuffle for sure. So we just take RNG as we get it. Oh my gosh, that was actually really good. I mean, not like the best it could be, but for 3 of them being in different spots, that was pretty good. But a blast proc on Kestodon just outright slays them, which is really nice. So as long as we just get a blast proc on one of them, on each of them, they go down instantly. We have to slay 5 more up here. That was actually really good.
Fantastic second group RNG.
Oh my gosh. Like flinching into each other, getting blast procs in the second hit. Feels real good. Man, I wish I had a timer going. We measure this game in in-game time, so unless we have a timer up on the screen, it's, you know, not really feasible to submit this. Which is fine. We're going to throw later, so I don't feel as bad. This is our next objective. This is Jagras. So, Green, I'm going to let you talk about the strategy that we use here, since, you know, you birthed this one.
Yep. So for the longest time, we thought it wasn't feasible to actually capture this first monster, just because there were no materials around. But that big stretch of movement you saw Bagel do at the end of the last quest was just what we needed, because it gets us the sleepers we need. We have the parashrooms we need for our trank bombs. We're able to buy one trap tool before this quest. And the last piece we were missing is something to craft the trap. We have a spider web, and there happens to be ivy right in this pathway. And that gets us the last little bit we need to craft our trap. And this is actually faster than the movement we used to do to get to the Great Jagras. So that worked out nicely as well.
Faster, right? Please. Do that. Alright, that worked.
So while the Jagras is knocked down from that rock topple, it's immune to this trap because the rock has higher priority. We're going to apply our tranks now, and they will last long enough to capture it once it stands up from this. Now we just need to get it down to that 30% threshold before the pitfall trap ends. And one or two more hits. Perfect.
So I just have to make really... it's not, like, incredibly tight, but we only have, like, a second or two to spare to get to this flash bug over here. It's essentially just a flashbang item. I can shoot it in front of a monster, and it flinches them for a bit, blinds them for a little while. And on the next monster, it actually just makes them stop moving entirely, which is very nice. Lots of good items there. So the next quest is an expedition, which is a unique kind of... Oh, actually, I have to do menuing here. I'm going to be quiet. All right, there we go. So the next quest is an expedition. We have a couple of these that we have to do. I call them assigned expeditions because they're always the same. There's no RNG involved in them, which, you know, makes dealing with them very easy. But we do have to do them to progress the game. But expeditions normally, you know, can have, like, any monsters on them, like 3 monsters at a time. If you hunt one, a new one respawns in. There's no time limit. There's no limit to the number of carts that you can have. You can just kind of be on them forever. They're like this game's version of a hunt-a-thon. For our purposes, we have to unlock a camp and then hunt a monster. And that monster is Kuliaku, also known as Bird Up. But the nice thing is that there's very little like RNG on these things. Really the only RNG that's on expeditions is where Anjanath spawns, and it's always just Anjanath, right? And he's here this time, so we get to do a cool Pokemon Snap optimization and not look at the models to go faster. Weird in a game that came out in 2018. If we don't look at the model, it's faster.
Yep. Spotting Anjanath adds an extra line of dialogue after one of the cutscenes, which not only is it slower, the monster we need to hunt keeps walking while that dialogue is happening, so it makes the cycle a little harder to hit as well.
But just like that, look at the ground, don't see him. See no evil, fear no evil. Because we'll have to deal with Anjanath later, and hopefully we don't have to deal with him on the next quest either, but there is a possibility that he shows up there too. Why is that a ledge?
It's my favorite ledge.
Every time. But we're coming up to the camp. We'll unlock that camp, and then we get to hunt Kuliaku. And so this is going to be the first example of clagger chaining. We didn't really get to do that with the last quest because we used a pitfall trap and environmental AI, or excuse me, environmental priority to like hold them still. But this is going to be our main form of like control when we start scripting. It's this clagger, especially with Switch Axe. Switch Axe is really good at chaining claggers together, especially on brute wyverns and bird wyverns. But there's Kuliaku, but before we go and accost him, we're going to go and just gather really quick. We need some shock bugs, some thunder bugs for our shock traps, and they're right there. There's 2 of them, prime for the taking. Yoink and yoink. So here's our first clagger. And we're going to be using that kind of animation all throughout this speedrun. Good luck right there. Good RNG.
So when Bagel grabs the clagger, it extends the duration of the control, which gives it an opening to fit in this full ZSD, zero-sum discharge. I'm gonna let you focus. Okay.
Oh, I don't buffer that anymore. You can accidentally leave this quest before the monster is captured, and I don't do that anymore. No, thank you. I do not want to lose another like minute and a half in a marathon setting to that. No gracias. All right, you can continue talking about that though.
Yeah. So the initial clagger lasts for 4 seconds. The moment you grab it, it extends it for another 6. So what we'll do with Switch Axe is we'll grab the clagger. We're gonna count to 2. And then start our ZSD, because the ZSD lasts for 4 seconds, and we don't want to finish our damage until the clagger is ended. Otherwise, we won't get a second clagger to keep our chain going.
So you'll see that on this quest too, because these monsters have such little health at the very beginning of the game too. It's actually really easy just to keep overwriting these thresholds to get clagger after clagger, especially with defender weapons. And for those wondering, there is a no add-ons category where you don't use defender weapons and you just use what the game gives you, and it's much harder because anything can kill you at any time. It's great. It's so much fun, and everyone should learn that route first.
Don't do that.
Alright, so no Anjanath here means this is the freest fight.
So that was our first example of a wallbang. If you clutch onto an unenraged monster's head and unload all of your ammo into it, you'll send it flying, and if it hits a wall, it'll fall over.
Dang. Fly. Fly, you. Aren't you flying? Alright, there we go. Huh? I was holding the...
Nice. Now we have this 20-second end timer, so we can finish setting up the rest of our quick menu.
I always think it's so goofy that you can actually open that up before you actually capture the monster. So you don't have to skip the cutscene, you just do that. I always think that's so fun when the cutscene just kind of like happens behind you.
Yep.
Alright, we got a backup Pookie sack there. We're going to fight Pookie again later, and I'm hoping I get a sack plus from that fight, so we can give the cat a poison weapon for the final fight. If we don't get that RNG, though, we can give him the low rank one, and it doesn't lose too much time. Because it's definitely RNG based, that damage. I think we only anticipate like 1 poison anyways, don't we?
You get 1 poison guaranteed, 2 is relatively common.
So this is the best kind of quest? And you may be wondering, Jal, why aren't you skipping this cutscene? Well, we can't. For some reason, skipping this cutscene soft locks the quest. It just doesn't progress. because this quest is an auto-scroller. Yay! Everybody's favorite. It's really actually an escort mission. But we had to escort this caravan around the Wildspire Waste, which is a really cool area. I actually really like this place. But we have to escort this caravan around. But the nice thing is that we only have to meet it in 3 different checkpoints. So during that time, we can do a bunch of gathering. We end up gathering like 60% of the materials during this quest. Like 60% of the materials that we'll use on the entire run, which is, I mean, I think that's super cool, personally. This is also a great time for donations, announcements, or anything of that nature while I run around in circles in the desert. If you had any.
All right. Well, we don't have any new donations, but I will take this moment to talk about the prizes that we have. For just a minimum donation of $10, you can get your name in for a draw for a Game Over Cancer GameCube controller, one and only. And if you win this this first place prize, you also get a key for Resident Evil 4 Remake. And if you're unfortunately not one of the lucky ones or not the lucky one to win that controller, you for a $5 donation you get in for one of 3 Steam keys, either RE4 Remake, Duck Game, or What Is Sleeping in My Room.
What is sleeping in my room?
You gotta get the key to find out.
Yeah, that's the only way you'll know. So you'll notice too, like while we're running around here, I mean, I'm picking up sleep herb after sleep herb. I'm picking up parashroom after parashroom. Those are going to be all of our tranquilizers, right? The trank bombs, which is necessary for capturing. Without those, we can't capture. No. The Kestodon want to fight me. That ruins my stamina management. No. But we're coming up. We have to follow that like red marker right there, right? That's what we're trying to catch up with, because they're getting close to that first kind of checkpoint. Nice thing is we got a little Spider-Man bug right here. Whee! Little grapple point. And I mean, it's insane the number of like resources that's actually in this area. Even in master rank speedruns, I try to like route in ways to come here so I can do all of this gathering because it's very good. And in master rank, you only come here like twice, which is really unfortunate. Alright, so we're coming up to that first kind of checkpoint. I'm going to make 2 paraknives. And then on my radial menu, I like to put those mite seeds there. So the paraknives do exactly what they sound like. They paralyze the monster when we hit them with it. We're going to be using that on the quest here, because we actually are able to gather some extra parashrooms in this route. So we get to use these paraknives, and it makes this fight free. Like, I was doing it without, and I'm like, what do you mean? This fight's like super easy. All you have to do is just get an RNG blast proc to get a clagger, and then it's fine. Like, it doesn't matter. And then Green was like, do it this way, and I did it that way once, and I was like, okay, I'm never doing it another way ever again because this was too easy. Like, even in the draft beginner route tutorial that I'm working on, I have these paraknives in there because pretty much every weapon can use it, and it's free. So here's our second checkpoint. Uh-oh, what's that? A Rathian? Jumpin' Jaggies, a Rathian? Oh man, we better fight that thing and get rid of it as fast as possible so it can't hurt the caravan, right? Wrong, we're gonna ignore it. It doesn't exist. We're getting out of here. So we've been in this mission for quite some time. We've been in this quest for a while, so we're gonna go back to the camp just to restock on trap tools again, because we've already like crafted both of them. We can get 2 more. It really helps with our item management as we progress through the run. So we're gonna grab those. And now that we've gone through the entire Wildspire, you're gonna notice all of the gathering points that we gathered, they're back. And that's why we get so many resources from this quest. Everything that we picked up comes back in this amount of time, and it is absolutely wild. There's one little like camera manipulation that I have to do here just to make sure that god bug respawns, and it did. I can look at my map just to make sure that it pops back into existence. But we're about halfway through this. Halfway through this now. Another item that we've been picking up throughout this, which we usually don't talk about, but I'm going to talk about this time, are mite seeds. And that's why we're picking up god bugs and bitter bugs and just a bunch of extra stuff. We're actually going to be using all of that a lot later, towards the end of the run, to make power items. So a mite seed will give you, how much raw is it for 30 seconds?
10?
10
for
raw.
3 minutes.
Oh, excuse me, for 3 minutes. Yeah, 10 raw for 3 minutes. So we'll get 10 additional raw damage for 3 minutes while we're in the hunt. So a nice little temporary bonus. We can stack that with other items, like the demon powder, which does the exact same thing, but it's stackable. And the demon drug, which does 5 raw for the entire hunt, or until we cart. So we can stack all of those bonuses together to give ourselves a nice little attack boost to make end game fights a little bit faster and a little bit easier. And even right now, we're going to be popping a mite seed before every encounter, all but like one. We're just going to be popping a mite seed really quick. And this damage calculation is actually a big part of our routing when we start actually like eating at the camp, because we ate at the camp at the beginning of this quest. We didn't really talk about it, but eating at the camp not only gives us stamina, but also gives us a small attack bonus. And how much is that one, the attack boost small? Is that one also 10?
I think it's 5, 10, and 15 for small, medium, large.
Yeah, that sounds right. So as long as we kind of keep track of like what sources we're getting our raw damage from, we can actually stack them in like the ways that we need a bare minimum for, which was more important in like Paolumu quest and Legiana quest, because we can actually cut out you know, like eating and stuff like that if we need to. But for our purposes now, we're just going to take everything that we can get. So I'm setting up a little prank for the monster here. This will be real funny. When he spawns in, he's going to fall right into a trap. It's going to be hilarious. We're going to yell pranked at him when it happens, too. Everyone get ready. It's going to happen. Pranked him! Alright, this is like absolutely free, too, which is really nice. Just building up our zero-sum discharge. Bad damage, but that's okay. Very good damage right there.
Lasts long enough to get both tranks off and the trap as he's coming out of it. Now he can deal that last little bit of damage that's needed.
Yeah, my first CSD wasn't great. That's a big part of this script that you have to really watch out for, because his head is a bad hit zone. When you see gray numbers like that, we're dealing the bare minimum amount of damage, right? Versus a good hit zone, which is yellow damage, orange numbers. That kind of tells me how much damage I've been dealing and what I need to change, how I need to adjust to really like make up that difference. Fortunately, there we have a lot of time in that trap that we can make that up. That was a couple seconds slow. That's okay. Next is Juratotus. Green, why do we hate Juratotus?
This fight is complete RNG.
This fight is complete RNG, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 3 different points in the script where it can just fail.
It's quite cool, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But the very first thing we're going to do is some mouse movement.
Yeah. This part's cool, at least.
Just kind of buffering the mouse position to be over the camp that we want to fast travel to instead of using the analog controls to get there. Nice little optimization. Remember the first time that I did that, I'm like, there's no way this is worth. And then it was the easiest thing ever. And I was like, okay, this is absolutely worth.
Mm-hmm.
But leading into this quest, we're going to do some a little more gathering here. We're going to ignore those spikes. That's nothing. Don't worry about those. All right, so what we want here is good AI so we can get a flashbang off. We can get our flash pot off. Good AI? Good AI. Now we wallbang. Green, I'm gonna let you talk about the script though, so I can focus on it.
Yep. So not only do we get the wallbang here, Jira's gonna recover from the flash when he stands up, which is he's gonna do a little head flail, which will give us even more time than normal. So we're actually gonna do a full grounded ZSD here, get that big explosion off, then clutch on. And Jira's gonna enrage here and jump to a slightly better area. We'll use that to do the start of our ZSD. Now we're gonna hit his tail, hoping for a blast proc. Perfect for our Clagger. Grab the Clagger, and we should be getting a head topple after this. Perfect. Now one more ZSD. This will get us a Clagger.
If only we
Finisher,
hit it.
unfortunately, went into the back.
It's okay, I'm never punished.
Yep.
Alright, good. He actually jumped that way. Oh my gosh, I hate that.
So we can't place a trap in deep mud, which is another thing that makes this fight very obnoxious. But it's all over now, so it's okay.
I don't have to think anymore. The script's not 100%. It's like 80%, unfortunately. And there's a lot of RNG that's associated with it, so you really do have to, like, kind of adjust to it. But after the last ZSD, he doesn't actually, like... He can sometimes, like, do a small flinch, but he doesn't clagger. So you have to find an opening to safely get down your tranks and traps and do the last little bit of damage if you need it, which is why I like to use the tranks before I place the trap, because they're all on a timer, right? All of those items are on a timer. Unfortunately, they don't last indefinitely. But now we're heading into the fun part of the speedrun. This is the last two hunts of the first any percent category, which is a partial any percent category, right? But these are Toby Kadachi and Anjanath. And Toby has a really cool, very creative script that we do. And then Anjanath is just like another really good example of clagger chaining. So this is actually like two of my favorite hunts to do. Anjanath is hard to do cleanly, but it's not too terribly difficult to execute. And then the Toby Kadachi one is probably the tightest script that we have, but it's really easy to just like abandon it and like, you know, make up for it there. But you just end up losing like 20 or 30 seconds. But when this script goes right, it's very, very cool. It's one of my favorites to like look at. Yeah, we're full smooth until HR Anjanath for sure.
Got a quick moment for a donation?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, in the essence of keeping this family friendly, I am gonna change it a little bit, but it's gonna be Frack Cancer. For a $20 donation by Blue Storm 28.
Thank you so much for that, Blue Storm. So this is actually another quest where we can put a trap down before we actually enter the cutscene for the quest. So we're going to put it down on the edge here, hopefully in the right position. That looks good. And Toby should be right in it. I'm just going to let this kind of like speak for itself. Nope, I missed. That's okay. This is all we needed right here, was just him getting in it. Okay, I stayed up here. First pod. Beautiful. So that's us taking advantage of stealth AI at the very end there, and kind of like using the alert mechanics, right? Like, we made a noise, so it's going to try to investigate that noise. But since I made it on top of its body, it's going to push itself backwards. And the nice thing is I can kind of like push it up against the wall there to kind of hold him still. I think that's just such a fun script to do, especially getting it well like that. Because we're capturing him maybe about a second or two before the trap actually ends, which is insane. It's like the perfect amount of damage, and I think it's one of the coolest scripts in the game. All right, up next is Anjanath. I gotta do some shopping here really quick just to re-up on some materials that we're missing. Green's probably cringing because I did the movement that's an extra input accidentally.
Wait, what?
Going up when you buy a pouch is an extra input.
Oh, yep.
It's 5 up instead of 4 down. All right, so HR Anjanath. This is going to be another Clagger chain, and we're going to be using the environmental rock again that we used on Great Jagras. This is also a really cool script. It speaks for itself too, so I'm just going to kind of, let it do that. Because I do kind of need to focus during it to adjust to any, RNG that kind of pops up during it. Nice. Ooh, all right, cool. Beautiful. That was like a perfect Anjanath. Oh. All right, so, yeah, because I did 4, and then that was the 5th CSD, so that was pretty safe to also just kind of, like, wail on the leg. But absolutely shouldn't have done that.
No, you dropped first pod, like, at the start of your last CSD. That was very safe.
Yeah, that's what I need to, like, pay attention to is when it drops. I just saw that it dropped. But that was good. That was, like, perfect Anjanath. That's, like, the best Anjanath I've had in a long time. I think I saw all the things. I just didn't see the quantities of them. So this is our Anjanath also gives us an Anjanath scale, which is our first upgrade material, and we technically want 2 of them. The game's guaranteed to give us 1, but it's RNG if we get more than 1. I want at least 2 because we're using 2 weapons, and it's faster if I can just upgrade them both instead of having to downgrade them. Because especially the next upgrade is a commendation that comes from Zora Madros 2, and that is almost always 1. It's a 1 in 100 chance to get to. But this is the first Zora Madros quest, so I talked about partial 90% categories. Traditionally, this game was, historically, this game was really, really long. Before the advent of Defender gear, we only had, like, the no add-ons category, right? Which was just called any percent back then. And it took a long time to do 0%. a very long time. So we had partial 90% categories, so people could still like do RTA style speedruns, but not waste like 6 hours of their life, if not more. So this is the first partial 90% category. This is always the one that I recommend people learn first, right? Do Zora Madros 1 with add-ons. You get to learn a lot of stuff about scripting. You get to learn a lot of stuff about your own weapon. It's really, really short. You can do it in like about an hour, and it's a lot of fun to do too. But the Zora Madros fights, we'll do 2 of them. This is the first one, and they always come in 2 phases. And so for our purposes, this is phase 1, which is kind of like an artillery phase. And Zora Madros has to do some things during this, and we have to do some things during this to progress the quest. The first thing that has to happen, or one of the things that has to happen, is this one-shot binder has to get shot at Zora Madros. Now, a one-shot binder will stop Zora Madros from moving, but if we don't shoot that, the NPCs will shoot it. For some reason, if we shoot it at the very beginning of the quest when Zora's really far away from the barrier, it has a really short duration. But if we wait for him to get all the way to the barrier and let the NPCs shoot it, it lasts like 3 times as long. So you know what? We just shoot it at the very beginning, get it out of the way, get it done. That also gives us a chance to clear out some of these wing drakes, which they like to be annoying while we're shooting cannons, so we're just going to get rid of them really quick. But the next thing that has to happen is Zora Madros in phase 1 is going to do 2 attacks. He's going to do a hand slam, and he's going to do kind of like a big fireball. The animations just have to start. So if he flinches during that animation, he'll go on to the next one. So we're going to use the cannons here to skip those animations. And then in that meantime, I'm also going to be doing a bunch of like item management and inventory management just to help pass the time. I like dancing. There we go. Pop star dance. Best dance in the game. Now is also a really good time for like actually the next part is a really good time for donations and stuff like that. So if you guys are looking to donate, now's the time to do it. Because I guarantee you, we'll have a chance to read it in the next part. Oh. Yeah, give Mal something to do. Got to put in his work. But thank you everyone for being here and watching this speedrun and being a part of Game Over Cancer. You guys are doing a great thing for a great cause. Am I not paying attention?
Nope, sure aren't.
All right, well I missed that, so we're just gonna shoot this now. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I was too busy giving Mal a hard time that I wasn't paying attention to this. See what I get? That shouldn't be too terrible. He really didn't move that far. Yeah. If anything, we'll lose like 10 seconds. He was backing up to do that hand slam animation, so he's just a little bit further away from the wall than I would normally be used to. So just gonna wait a little bit longer for him to get over here. You can see more birds coming too. I put the ghillie mantle on to avoid that. I really did think I had more time.
Hmm? You don't normally do inventory management there.
No, I do now. Because I have the time to. I get rid of like the items that I would normally drop. Yeah, so you did an extra step here because it's a little bit further away. Interesting. We learned a thing today.
Yeah.
But all that still looked right, so it should be fine. There's a bird right behind me. Please send help. All right, get another flinch here. We're gonna wait for him to rock forward a little bit. Get it? Rock, because he's a big rock. But that's asterisk fast Zora. Other than the one mistake I made. But now we have a bunch of time that we get to manage our inventory. And so I'm just moving some equipment around to make movement easier later. We're gonna re-up that, re-up that. I need to put away this, and I keep the god bugs. Mega nutrients for later. Those get turned into... Oh yeah, we're perfectly fine. They're already talking. All right, cool. So yeah, that's all we really need to do here. The only thing that I'm going to do is just check to see. We got 1 large bone. That's okay. We got 5 scales. Ooh, no pelt. So we have to do 17-less. Dang it. Hate 17-less. So missing the Anjanath pelt means that we don't unlock Camp 17 in the Ancient Forest, which is unfortunate. Because we lose, like, what, 30 seconds to Rathalos because of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we lose 30 seconds to Rathalos. Man, that's unfortunate. And if we get patterns, if we get Elder Dragon patterns that need us to go up into the tree, it just takes longer too. But that's okay. You know, we just kind of deal with what we get. Unfortunately, this is like a big point of RNG, is that Anjanath pelt, because that's not guaranteed. So that means I also don't need to look out for large monster bones, because that one we can get later, but unfortunately the Anjanath pelt we can't. Alright, so second phase of Zora Madros 2 is super important. The NPCs are telling us here that we need to fight these magma cores. That's a magma core right there. They're telling us to beat it up. But we're not going to do that, because that's slow. Zora Madros actually has a health gate for this quest, and we've already met it by shooting those 2 fully loaded cannons earlier, so we actually don't need to damage him anymore. Instead, we're just going to run up to the very front of him and do nothing. We're going to do absolutely nothing. We're just going to stand on him and exist. Just going to stand here and vibe. And I can do some more inventory management and set up menus the way that I want to. But this is it. This is all we're doing. So I'm gonna have Green tell you a story. I always like Green. I don't know if Green likes telling this story, but I make him tell this story every single time that we do marathons for Monster Hunter. So Green, do you want to tell your story about Zora Madros 1 Phase 2?
Yeah. So the way this quest ends is that another monster shows up and you have to do some damage to him, and the quest will end once you deal enough damage. I was playing with a cheat engine overlay on because I was doing some testing, and I noticed that the monster was always it spawned in, like he had a health bar and everything. So I reached out to a modder and said, "Hey, would it be possible to find where this monster is and damage him early?" And the modder said, "Let me look into it for you." He got back to me and he said, "Okay. So to start out, the monster is 8,000 units below the ground. Second, it's behind about 20 layers of projectile protection, so there's no possible way you can damage it. And third, even if you could damage it, every step Zora takes during this second phase is a flag that has to be met for the quest to end. So our dreams of skipping this section have been completely shattered."
Truly unfortunate.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the fabled Zora skip that is non-existent, unfortunately. So instead, we sit for 6-7 minutes on the back of this monster. I've been playing Monster Hunter Now while waiting in this section. And I'm definitely not doing that right now. No, absolutely not. So yeah, this is it's a nice long section for you guys to go and check the prizes and all the incentives, and maybe consider donating to a fantastic cause.
Absolutely, we do still have an incentive to be met. We've got we got a few bid wars up. We've got Hard Corp's Uprising category bid war. It's either Arcade Sayuri or Rising Sayuri. Another bid war is Mega Man 7 Shade Man OST bid war. It's the original soundtrack or the Ghouls and Ghosts soundtrack. Currently, Ghouls and Ghosts is winning with $71.93 versus the $10. But last but not least, the final bonus run to unlock is the live tap dancing event. We're only $25 away from that. So I feel like we can make this happen before the end of this run.
I have a feeling That one will absolutely, maybe, possibly get met by the end of this run. Smile. What if I told you we still had like 2 minutes until we got to the end of this? This is such an unfortunate ending to this category too. What's really funny is that, like, we've had some like people when they do this part of the run, they'll like get up and like, you know, go like get a snack or like go use the restroom and stuff like that. Like that's usually what I do, especially because the run's kind of long, right? I had one person that was taking selfies with chat. We had a couple of submissions like that. That was pretty fun. I guess this is a really good time to like plug the community, guys. If you are interested in running this game or learning more about Monster Hunter speedrunning, even if it's like full game, like what we're doing tonight, or if it's just individual levels, right? Like there's a bunch of quests in the game and they're all speedrunnable. You know, you can find the Monster Hunter speedrunning community, or MHSR, on the on speedrun.com. You can find a Discord there. All the links should be working. I checked those the other day. But you can find our community on speedrun.com, and you know there's a leaderboard for every Monster Hunter game, and there's a bunch of them. This one might be the most popular Monster Hunter game that has come out, but there are like 15 Monster Hunter games. All of them can be speedran. Actually, a resurgence of Monster Hunter Tri right now, since they have fan-made servers coming back. So like a lot of people are getting back into multiplayer for that one, which is kind of cool.
Oh.
Yeah. We're working on rules to allow emulators and stuff like that. A lot of big stuff happening in the Monster Hunter speedrunning area. So if you're interested, you should join that. And ask us questions that we don't know the answers to. Because there is a lot of things I do not know about this game. Alright, we're almost there. And then I promise you, after this, it's all gas. Absolutely all gas.
Well, how about this quick question then?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of casually playing the game, what would be the best weapon for a beginner?
This is going to sound incredibly cheesy and corny. The one you like the most. Because like all the weapons, they operate in different ways. Some are fast,
That
some
is
are
a
slow.
cop-out answer.
It is! It absolutely is. But like, you know, some people like vibe with like certain weapons, right? It's like going into like Elden Ring or like Dark Souls and being like, oh, I'm going to use the Unga Bunga sword. And then it turns out that you like, you know, the little dual blades in that game instead, the twin swords in that game instead. So I mean, like, there is something to be made of like, there's a point to be made that you should play the things that you are comfortable with. However, hammer is a really fun beginner weapon to learn. So if you're playing the game for the first time, you don't know what to use hammer. Hammer, go bonk. Horn, also go bonk. All right, so this is a little strategy. This is called Nergigante Quick Kill. We're going to put on the Ghillie Mantle, warp to Zora's back because we fell off of him. We're going to put 2 bombs right next to that rock right there. Green alluded to a monster that shows up. This is Nergigante, and we'll be chasing him around the entirety of this game. It turns out he's the insurance policy holder. And we're just going to do this quick kill really quick, because that's what it's a quick kill. That's what they're quick. And that's it. And that's the Nergigante quick kill. Normally, he'd just be like running around, bouncing around, jumping, and all that stuff, but we can just do that instead. All right, and then that's the first partial indie percent category, Zora 1, also called one for the history books. So now we move on to the second half of low rank. And so we're still in low rank, right? The game's split up into 2 kind of categories, low rank and high rank. And obviously in high rank, things get harder. It's the higher rank. They're really creative about this stuff. But we're not quite there yet. We got to get through the next section of the game. And Colossal Task is actually a really fun one, because this is all gas. This is like the Monster Hunter hunt, right? Like it is just straight up hunt over and over and over again. But we got to run through the area that Zora Madros was just in to unlock a new area, the Coral Highlands, which is one of my favorites. We got a little more time here. Aesthetically, yes. Aesthetically, this place is awesome. Fight-wise, this place is like, it's like so mid. It does a lot of things good and most things horribly. What if one of the areas that you were fighting in was just a big slope, and most weapons in this game had unique interactions with slopes? Wouldn't that be really, really fun? Wouldn't that be a great area to fight in? Wouldn't Hammer just love to... Anyways, I could go on for hours about some of the area designs in this game. But we won't do that. We're doing a speed run. I don't have time for that.
Speaking of things that can go right, we got a $50 donation from Matt Used Struggle,
Yo!
saying nothing's happening on this Zora quest. Perfect time to click away from the stream to donate.
Amen.
Perfect time it was.
Thank you so much for the donation, Matt. Make sure you put it towards the incentives. Like tap dancing. All right, so now we're through the Great Ravine. And now we're going to unlock, I was mentioning earlier when we were unlocking Astera, that we're going to get a second hub, and this is that second hub. This is the research base, and the research base is awesome because it has all the same facilities as Astera, but it's like a fifth of the size. So anytime that we need to, like, talk to the handler, we're just going to come here and do it. It's actually faster, including the load times, to just come here and talk to the handler. Need to upgrade your weapon? Do it at the research base. Maybe we need to restock some items. Well, we might as well just go to the research base to do that. Everything that we're going to do from now on, if it can be done in Astera, we just do it in the research base instead, because it's just faster. This is the Coral Highlands, and it's, I mean, you can see why it's called that. It is beautiful here. I love, aesthetically, this area. Aesthetically, it's very pleasing. And no other way is it pleasing. This is the area that's made entirely of ledges. If you've ever played Monster Hunter, you know why that's frustrating. Something I haven't talked about yet is the convenience of this speedrun and the routing of it. We're at a point in the game where we are like starting to starve on certain materials, most specifically thunderbugs. We're going to come past this area right here, and we just saw that we picked up 2 thunderbugs. There's actually 3 there, and we're going to pass that area 3 times. So just in this section, we're going to pick up 9 thunderbugs, which is insane to me. This speedrun, anytime that we're like, man, it would be really nice to have X resource, it's just right in front of us. It's right in our way in the route, and it is so nice. It made the, like, early material routing for this game so easy. What's crazy is that about, like, I'd probably say like 75 to 80% of just like the movement routing in this game has stayed the same since the game came out. Like the majority of it just like really hasn't changed. If anything, we've been like remathing like what materials we need and when. But all the materials, they're, you know, it's just too convenient. They're just always there. But now that we've done this expedition and we've unlocked this camp, we're actually going to do our next hunt, which is Paolumu. And for this section, we're going to switch to Sword and Shield. And so the main differences between SNS and Sword and Shield really just going to be like how we can script fights. Unfortunately, for the next couple of fights, Switch Axe just isn't that great. It's very RNG heavy. It's really reliant on blast procs. There's like too many risky windows. So, you know, we're not really too thrilled with that. So instead we're going to switch to Sword and Shield. And Sword and Shield does these next couple of fights very well. Forge, weapons, Sword and Shield, there, and equip. We're also going to make a piece of armor. That's going to give us attack boost 1, and it, surprisingly enough, that makes a difference. That's like 5 raw. Not even, it's like 3 raw, isn't it?
3 raw.
Yeah, and that actually makes a difference in our run, which is insane. So a little optimization here. We could eat on this quest to get the attack boost that we need, but we've actually gathered enough materials that we can just, you know, have the attack boost that we need without eating. So a little optimization, we save time just not stopping at the meal table, which is awesome. It's really cool kind of you know, thought process that we go through with each one of these scripts. Like, you know, what do we need? How much of it do we need? A lot of work goes into this stuff. But on our way to the fight, we have all these like flash bugs to gather, all these materials that we get to gather. And I'm going to let Green kind of talk about this script as I do it. Because it can get a little overwhelming. I need to make sure I do it right, because if I lose any part of it, we're ad-libbing this fight, and I don't want to do that.
So starting out with a special claw uppercut, this gets us on the monster for a wallbang and gets the head halfway tenderized. Now a second claw uppercut onto the head gets it fully tenderized, so it'll take extra damage. A few attacks to get our timing right, and then starting a perfect rush. This is Sword and Shield's main damage combo. The final hit of it has a 2.5 part break modifier, which lets us get Claggers very easily. We're going to use this Clagger and shield hits for a KO. Time out another PR for our next Clagger. Grabbing this Clagger and immediately dropping off gives us just enough time to set down a pitfall trap. You can fit in a partial PR and a full PR during this trap. So dodging out before the last hit, starting a second PR.
Second too soon.
Little too early.
All right, well, I'm going to tap it to get the next Clagger. We'll just lose the time.
Yeah.
It's going to make the next Clagger actually a lot safer.
Yeah, because it's like 300 damage away from a Clagger right now.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to do it before it would jump. There we go. I wonder if that hit. Guess we'll find out.
And now one more PR in the trap. Perfect.
Yeah, I can just make that there. I don't need the backup. Right? Famous last words. So yeah, just that one little mistimed PR, right? Because we can't get Claggers while monsters are in other forms of control. We can get them when they're doing attack animations, but not like when they're still in a Clagger or when they're knocked down on the ground. Some animations they can, but not most of them. So we really want to time our PRs out for the end of the animations, so the next Clagger can start. All right, so we're going down into another new area here called the Rotten Vale. This is the area underneath the Coral Highlands. It's where all the dead things go. And this fight's really cool. This is a very unique script too. I've always really liked this one. This is Radabon. And this one can be like really messed up by your stamina management, so you have to be really careful, really just like about what buttons you're holding. I'm gonna let this one speak for itself too. Or Green, you can talk about it while we do it.
Yep. So starting out with a flash, this just moves Radabon into a consistent position and makes it so we don't have to deal with AI. Once again, claw uppercut for half a tenderize, wallbang for a topple. This time clutching on normally and doing a weapon attack to get the second half of our tenderize. That will also drop a thorn pod, which we will use a little later for a KO. Starting a PR. First Clagger. We're going to grab this and use the fact that Radabon is going to roar afterward to fit in a full PR rather than a rushed one. Second Clagger. Now using those thorn pods we just got for a KO. Now a falling shield bash into a PR, partially for damage, partially to time it out. Next Clagger. That red rock on the ground tells us he's low on health, so we can safely drop 2 tranks and place the trap.
No, not like this.
A PR while he's in the trap.
The bug was about to get me. I have to kill it now. That's really unfortunate. So as I was placing those tranks, the bug was about to hit me for a paralysis, so I would have lost it anyways. So now I just kind of have to kill him. Just really unfortunate, but it only loses the time hunting him down to 0. Dang, dude. Oh well. I'm not crazy. You saw that bug, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know if I should have went for it. Maybe I should have, but it's okay.
You
I mean,
should not have. The problem there wasn't that you dodged the bug. The problem was you didn't take the time to set up your PR1 on a good hit zone.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I don't know if I would have got. Well, I don't know, man. I just didn't have much time, but yeah, and then I just hit it all into the leg with the bone on it. I don't know. I mean, it happens. And of all the quests for it to happen, it's actually good because this is an expedition, so there's no end quest timer. So we don't really have to worry about like failing a capture too much on this one, as far as like marathon time is concerned. But once again, the convenience of the speed run, we need perish rooms here. We have a plethora of sleeper, but we need perish rooms. And lo and behold, there's just perish rooms all in this area that we have to run to. Very, very nice. All right, next is Legiana, and this is probably like the hardest, like technical skill split. This one just has like a lot of moving parts and a lot of ways that it can go wrong. And so yeah, this one's just hard. But if done right, it actually saves an insane amount of time and a trap, if we're lucky. Quick restock there, because we need more trap tools. And then off we go. And so this quest is unique. There's actually not a cutscene that initiates this one. Instead, the monster is just on a cycle in this area. The nice thing is that the cycle is consistent, so we don't have to, like, worry about any RNG associated with that cycle. And get rid of one more of these poison knives. There we go. We just have to make sure that we, you know, move through here fast enough to meet that cycle while also still gathering everything that we need. Which can be done pretty quickly and easily, because we want to make sure that we get to this area before the monster lands on the ground. Because that's going to give us an opening to do a wallbang. Just like the Paolumu and Puki Puki, that wallbang is going to be kind of the opener that we need to start our lock. Really good movement all the way up here, though.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, very good movement. All right, Green, I'll let you take it away from here.
Yep, so setting up 2 large bombs against this wall, we are going to wallbang the monster into it. Now shoot our single poison knife to trigger a poison. And doing our first wallbang. Lands us right next to a rock, so we'll be able to do a second wallbang. Build up a little bit of KO damage before clutching on. No flight RNG there is good. Clean wallbang. Now intentionally, we're gonna finish this PR before it stands up. And we're gonna back hop the roar. And use the slope to get a mount. That'll force her into the air. We'll immediately flash her down to get a topple. Now a PR on the head to get a KO. Now some hits to time out our PR. Nice. Get a clagger. Clutch on. Use our Tranks and Pitfall. And 2 PRs in the trap. One flash, put a shock down. And a couple more hits will do it. Nice.
I saw that first pod drop, and I was thinking maybe I should just rush this to get the finisher, and I was like, no, we'll play it safe.
Yeah, the finisher's not where the damage is anyway.
It's on the PR1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still very clean, very good. Didn't use any extra resources there because there are none. And we didn't. So we're doing all those forms of control to stop the monster from jumping around and doing a bunch of attacks that we can't take advantage of, right? It's a lot of RNG, especially associated with flying wyverns. So we do our best to script these ones out. Sub 3 is very good on that fight.
Yeah.
Speaking of RNG, hey, up next is Oda-Garen. Oda-Garen doesn't have a full script. Oda-Garen does have a strategy, which is pretty consistent. Like Green and I spent a lot of time just trying to figure out like what makes Oda-Garen do Oda-Garen, and we still don't know. So we do kind of just like this is a little bit of ad lib, but also just understanding what the goal of each thing that we do is. There's a pretty consistent opener that I'm terrible at, so wish me luck. But then after that, we're going to be using Pierce Pod Slinger Bursts to start PRs and deal a bunch of damage to the monster, but we're really baiting out an attack that I call Pseudo Topple. Pseudo Topple, or like counter attack, right? There's a couple different names for it. He's gonna like flinch, but then he's gonna immediately attack back at us. And it's a scripted sequence, so we can actually abuse the last hit of it by back hopping it, iframing it, and then damaging him during it. That should give us an opening for like another Clagger or something like that, and we just keep dealing damage. Neat little movement there, taking advantage of the airtime off of the ledges to use items and equip the Ghillie Mantle. And then we're using the Ghillie Mantle here for stealth AI, right? Just to guarantee this opener. Shooting that at the ground puts him in that searching AI, and then we can just do a nice little triple tap here. Am I gonna get a hole in one? Field goal? No, we can hit that wall. Nice.
So that triple tap did get half of the tenderize on the head. So when we get our first Clagger, we'll only need to do one weapon attack to tenderize. Nice. First Clagger, clutch on. Weapon attack, gets our tenderize, and drops a Pierce Pod. It's basically a shotgun.
It's just a shotgun.
So it causes a flinch into another Clagger. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Great RNG. So there's our pseudo topple.
And he always combos it into these two bites, which we can use as an opening to fit in part of a PR. Nice leg break. Now, he's dropped his first pod, which means he's close to capture ready. We can use 2 Tranks and a Shock, and actually use these 3 piercing pods while he's in the trap to get the capture. Perfect.
Beautiful. That's like ideal Oda-Garen right there. The leg break is 100% RNG. 100%. You don't anticipate it, but when you get it, it is glorious. So it's really just adjusting to the fight, knowing what he's doing, and the best way to take advantage of it. It's probably one of my favorite fights to do, just because I really like ad-lib in this game, and so understanding like how to fight something and how to adjust to it really well is probably my favorite thing. And that is a 245 Oda-Garen. That is gaming. That feels real good. That was also with me grabbing the extra flash.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you can talk about this.
Yeah, so this part's weird.
This part's weird.
Yeah. So we're going on an expedition to find a monster that we're not gonna fight yet, even though the game wants us to.
Nodders. Tell me more, Greenspeed. Tell me more about the monsters that we're not fighting.
Yeah, So we're gonna take this wing drake up to the top of the tree. Oh my god, brain.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Processing?
Yeah, processing.
Are you good? What happened to you?
How do we
Where are
normally
you?
do this? My brain's stuck on the
Oh yeah, you want to talk about the new script? Green found a minute time save that's not RTA friendly, so we won't talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So right here, um, we're just heading to a cutscene. We're gonna spot a monster. It's gonna start roaming around the map. We could technically hunt it here, but we aren't going to.
It consistently loses time, and well, technically, I got the RNG to do it too, but it consistently loses time. It has a chance to save time, so we just don't do it. And Green has an opener that changes a lot of the routing. Like, Green has a script for this fight that changes a lot of the routing later. It's technically a lot faster, but it does change a lot of the things that we can do and would normally do. It changes some of the resources that we have and some of the ways that we like fight monsters. But for our sake, we're just gonna spot it and leave. Why did I open up this menu?
Don't know.
I'm just not used to doing that.
Yeah.
Normally here we would go and unlock Camp 17. I don't have an Anjanath pelt. We aren't getting Camp 17. So instead, we're just gonna progress on normally. I'm still gonna hunt Diablos first, even though normally we would hunt Diablos because it's smarter in the routing to do so, but it really just has no significance here. I just like doing this first. Quick little restock there, and we go off on the hunt. So Diablos is a very difficult fight, right? We're doing two very difficult fights for low rank, honestly. Diablos and Rathalos. These are like apexes of their areas. They're like the big bads, right? They're big, mean, scary monsters. We are going to do our best to take advantage of Diablos. He does have a full script, but it is forced by RNG a little bit, only because it's dependent on his AI. But if we get really good AI and we have really good positioning and we do a lot of really good things, we can full lock him. We can just make him topple over and over and over again from damaging his leg. He's just going to trip over and over and over again. I was talking earlier about hit zone values. Every part has its own value, and even specific parts have specific control like variables, right? Luckily for us, the leg doesn't have a clagger. The chest and the head do, so we can accidentally like clip those things and still get claggers. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Starts off with this run at the wall. That happens like 80% of the time. If it doesn't happen, we just got to deal with it. And then we want to position ourselves to bait out this tail attack, and then we need to get a trip here. Missed it. There we go. We're just gonna keep doing this. That is unfortunate RNG. We can't do anything about that. Digs just happen, and there's no way for us to stop them. But the quest does give us these screamer pods. Oh boy, 2 digs in a row.
Digs are good as long as he doesn't do more than 3.
Yeah, unfortunate I timed that other PR because I was trying to turn it. So now I just kind of need to adjust here. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Gamer moment. Beautiful. So we're just waiting for the first pod to drop too, because once he does that, I can actually capture. Man, look, did you see how he just put that leg out there, presenting it for me? Like, he knew. It's very kind of him.
This is some very good RNG, depending on how he moves once we're latched on. Like that. Our finisher will clip into the chest instead, and won't get a topple.
And topples are better because we can, if we do 2 of those in a row, we don't get anything. He skipped a pod. Had to have. Yeah, there it is. Alright, this is actually super safe. Because now I can just walk back here. 1, 2. Put this trap down while he's standing up. Beautiful. Yeah, he skipped the pod. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so that was really good. We probably overdamaged him a little bit. The pod tells us when we can capture him. We should probably like learn the number of PRs, maybe that it keeps that safe. But really, once we see first pod, we know like for certain that we can capture and do one more PR, and we're good. That really didn't lose too much time. A 311 is a very good time. Sub 3 is possible, and low 3 is about average. So 310 is really good for skipping that pod. All right, so Rathalos, we are on a timer here. Unfortunately, we have to start at Camp 11 instead of in Camp 17. We want to make sure that Rathalos doesn't leave the area that he starts out in, because there is an environmental trap that we can drop on him. It creates a gigantic opener for us and gives us the ability to kind of like fully script this fight. This is just kind of hard to get to now because we start all the way down here, and we need to get all the way up to the top of the tree. By the time we get there, he's going to be flying, about to take off. So the moment we walk into the area, we're going to flash him. Then we can drop the waterfall on him. After that, it's pretty much scripted out. It's just going to be really dependent on like how I place my damage and how well I do. And I'll let Green kind of talk about, you know, the implications of what I'm doing. But the next part of this is kind of difficult, honestly. Oh, yeah, I also have to use my own flashes here. Good thing I grabbed that extra. We'll see how many I have when I go into Valhazak, but...
And the KO threshold will be tighter because you're using water moss, not red pits.
Yeah.
Alright, so during this waterfall topple, we can actually fit in 5 PRs.
Yeah, already messed it up. Oh well.
So we need to keep Rathalos flashed constantly here, because this area of the game, his AI is telling him, oh, I shouldn't be here, I need to leave. So the moment he's not flashed, he's just going to book it out of here, and we do not want that.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting such bad AI. Why? Go down! Thank you! Oh my gosh. Where is your first pod? Two left. There's your first pod. Oh, hi, Toby. Sick. That's my backup. So that's really unfortunate. Not only do we not get the zero transition, but Toby Kadachi came in and took that trap. So that was super cool. Man, it do be marathon luck.
Yeah.
And I already tranked this, didn't I? Alright, we're good.
Right.
Welcome on in, Raiders. Heather, I saw you. Thank you so much for the raid in. Uh-oh, I don't make this. That's just the backup, though. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that could have been worse. Still getting the cap is like very, very important, but getting invaded by that Toby, whatever. Whatever.
Got a quick moment for a donation?
Absolutely. It's a great time for a donation.
Yeah, but it's going to be a little bit on the nose. We got a $50 donation from Catling saying, I hope Tobias Kadachas was on his best behavior.
Well, he wasn't. He was there, and he jumped into my trap. That's really good timing on that one. Thank you so much for the donation, Catling. Yeah, for those of you guys coming in, this is a speedrun to Xeno'jiva. There are partial 90% categories between the beginning of the game and Xeno, like this quest here. You can stop at Zora 1 or Zora 2. Those are also categories for the people that don't have many hours to speedrun a game. All right, cool. So going into this next quest, this is Zora Madros 2, so we get to see him again. But before then, we're just gonna do some purchasing. Most notably, that power charm that we bought there. That's an item that sits in our inventory that just increases our what's it called? Increases our damage, which is super nice. But now we go on to Zora Madros 2, and so unlike Zora 1, Zora 2, we actually have a bunch that we have to do. He has a much larger health gate this time around, so we're going to be damaging the magma cores, but we want to do enough damage to not break them. The really nice thing about Sword and Shield is that its part break values are kind of low for all of its attacks, most notably the PR though. So we can use PR on the magma cores, and because we aren't getting the like true finisher, because it's not a part that we can latch onto, we're actually not dealing a bunch of part break damage to it. So we can actually over damage these cores before they break, which is really nice. It makes like that whole factor is what makes SNS the best Zora 2 weapon. All right, well, let's see if we get lucky here. We didn't. Dodge out of that. But I want to fit in 3 PRs here. We're just going to do 2.5 because I don't want to over damage it. And I already did like half of one, so we're just going to leave there. Because we're going to come back later and do 4 more PRs against it. But we just don't want to break it. So under damaging is better than over damaging. Because if we break the core 2, Zora Madros just stops moving entirely. Ow. That's BM Zora.
Thank you, PR Super Armor.
Yeah, thank you, PR Super Armor. We really appreciate you sometime. But so we're on a cycle, right? We need to make certain positions on Zora at certain times because there's stalactites and stalagmites all through this cavern that we can drop on him, and we want to do it at specific times. This is a big core explosion. We just need to stand over here to not get hit by that. I could claw uppercut through it, but I'm already losing health. I don't want to do that. And ideally, we fit in 5 PRs here. Ooh, ouch. I dodged directly into that. That's unfortunate, because we could have snuck in the 5th there. And then here's my 5th. So that'll give us just enough time to get outside of Zora to the next rock drop. And so all of this is just on a cycle. We want to be making sure that we do the things on the cycle because we're interrupting specific AI or we're dropping rocks when he's already stuck in AI that he can't be interrupted out of. Perfect timing. little late on that, but that is A-okay. Just want to make sure that we drop that rock after this dialogue. Just want to make sure that it hits once that dialogue message pops up. Breakable parts are just a little extra damage while we climb Zora. And so next, the NPCs are going to hit Zora with a binder. And when they do that, we're going to drop our next set of rocks. Because he'll be locked in that animation anyways, and so it's just a huge opening to deal that damage. Being very careful not to get hit by the magma that's up here too. I have absolutely been hit by those and fallen all the way to the bottom and had to rush back up here to drop the rocks. It is awful. Whoa! Spooky. All right, so we're gonna wait, let the dust settle here, and then we're gonna look for our rock. Where is our rock? There it is. 2 bombs down on top of the rock. Because guess who's back? It's Nergigante. Nergigante's back. So this Nergigante is very important. We need to break one of his horns to cut out a entire like track gathering visit for him. So instead of doing 2 visits, we only have to do 1. That should be good enough. Cool. Almost ran into that. It's all good, though.
Everything's fine.
Bad AI. All right, so now we got a KO. This is pretty much free, as long as I don't miss the finisher here. There we go.
Yep.
Bye, Nergi. Get rid of that. We don't need it anymore. All right, so now that we dealt that damage, he just has a health gate that we have to meet. We did it. It's done. Now we get to go and bully Rock Friend. So we attacked this rock earlier, but it's not gonna break nicely. We get to over damage this thing because for some reason our Rock Friend here does not break if Zora is standing up. Oh, hold on. Hey. All right, we're good. Trying to get myself stuck in that corner there, but it's not really working. There we go. That's a good spot. So we're just waiting for Zora to stand up right here. So then we can just jump off. We just need to get past this little line first before the lava appears, but it's pretty easy to do. Uppercut through that. Oh, I was safe. Sick.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do 2 PRs here, so it's going to be a little tight. All right, we're good. We got good luck where we were already standing in a safe spot. The pattern that it explodes in is random, so you just kind of have to adjust to it. Ideally, you're done with your PR by the time it starts, so you can adjust. And what's pretty safe is that you can just like roll out and do a claw uppercut. Since you have hyper armor and claw uppercut, you can actually like stay really close to it, but you still take the damage. So you just really got to watch your health. So this last core, we're actually going to try to break. I mean, I guess not try, but we get to deal a bunch of extra damage to this one. Trying to make sure I don't mess up my PRs here. So now that we got that audio dialogue, Zora is transitioning into the next phase, so we can just wail on this thing now. But I want to kind of like wedge myself out of bounds here. Because if I can go out of bounds early, it puts me on this side of the barrier, which is really nice because I'm closer to the boat with all the cannons that I want to fire in it. And that big old Dragonator. Ooh, we're going to be using that here in a second. Load up one cannonball and shoot these cannons early. Zora's in a animation right now that he can't really be flinched out of. So this is free. We can just shoot these and reposition the cannons for the next shot of fires. Next shot of fires? What does that even mean? The next round of shots, maybe? Maybe that's a sentence. My brain's not here. My brain's focusing on doing this right.
It's doing its best.
Just see the smoke. Yeah, we just gotta load this back up. And I've considered only putting 4 in here so I can get the Dragonator faster, but... we do 5. The nice thing is that we can shoot the Dragonator the moment we get to it. 1, 2. So spooky. But we need to wait for the barrier defense to appear up on the side, so we don't want to flinch Zora Madras away from the barrier too soon. Perfect. And we're done. We can craft that. And now we just wait for the quest to end. And did we get good RNG? Let's find out. Nope, we only got 1. But that's okay, that's what we expect. All right, we did it, guys. We're in high rank now.
Whoa.
This is the hard part of the speedrun. So for the first half of high rank, we're actually going to switch back to Sword and Shield. Switch Axe. Upgrade this into level 2 and then level 3. Nice. We now have Switch Axe because the next couple of monsters are very easy to Clagger lock. And by the next couple, I mean 2. And then the third monster that we fight is awful and nobody likes her. But we got to go on to an expedition first. There's a Pookie doing some weird stuff. It's acting fishy. And so we got to go and find it. This is actually going to introduce the track gathering mechanic back to us again and force us to do it this time. But it wants us to gather Rathian tracks. And so we have to do a bunch of gathering to unlock the next quests. Tracks spawn in one of 3 patterns outside of this quest. And so we have to be able to recognize this as fast as possible. So we've identified those 3 patterns and memorized them. So out of the 4 monsters that we gathered tracks for, there's 3 patterns for each. So 12 patterns in total that we have to memorize. Thank goodness we made that video.
Yeah.
So we're going to lure Pookie up to that Spore Puff, and we're going to use a little bit of stealth AI there to get this Wallbang opener and ZSD. And then I'm just going to try to do my best to keep this Clagger lock. It's a little RNG dependent, though. Because I don't do it the better way.
The better way is barely better, don't worry.
So early finisher there because he always goes into this like eating animation, which is just consistent AI. Early Clagger there is A-OK. 1, 2. Just gotta watch my ZSD gauge here. A little early. Trying to hit his head. But you know what, we're just going to grab it. Pray for good AI, and we got it. Yeah, we lost it. That's okay, though. Just need a pod now. Watch that next bit. Okay, we're just gonna get the worst AI possible, aren't we? I don't know where you're gonna go next. You are gonna go down here. Okay, cool. It was cap ready. Just gotta play it safe there. We don't have a lot of resources right now, so we don't want to like accidentally overextend. I have just enough resources to finish out this this speed run because we only have to capture 3 more monsters. This one, so only 2 more now. The next monster, which is Anjanath, and then the question mark Rathian. Hey, we got a sack. Nice. So we get the high rank version of the cat's poison weapon, which is awesome. So next is track gathering. If there's any more donations, it's a great time to do it because this is kind of a me just counting, which I don't know if you guys know how to count to 30 or not, but you're about to learn.
Well, I can't wait to learn how to count, but so far, no other donations. But I do want to thank everybody who helped make the live tap dancing a possibility. So thanks, everybody. But let's keep at it. We do have some bid wars that people can put their donations toward. We've got the Hard Corps Uprising category bid war with Arcade Sayuri versus Rising Sayuri, and the Mega Man 7 Shade Man OST bid war, original versus Ghouls and Ghost.
So already I know what pattern I'm on, which is, I think this is really cool, right? We have to like memorize these, and we know how many tracks are on each pattern. So we need to gather like 300 points, and then between doing Pookie Pookie and then the next quest, we'll actually finish the investigation entirely. And this pattern has 15 points on it, or 150. We just divide everything by 10, makes it easier. But track gathering is probably the hardest part of learning the speedrun, because it's the most variable portion. You know, you can just lose a minute and a half here, smile, for no reason, smile, in your PB, smile, and it's all RNG. Smile.
Smile.
And then you'll, just pray that you be on a good pace and get good tracks, and then lose a good pace because of tracks. But it's okay. You kind of can't, you kind of just have to take the lumps as you get them. So it's just all about getting good and consistent at the game. This is the hardest part of, like, learning, just so you know how to do these the fastest. So instead of, we've only gathered 150 out of our 300 points that we need here. So we're going to actually come back to the handler and launch a optional mission. Just relaunching the mission will reset the tracks in the area. It'll reset the whole area and just give us all fresh tracks. So ideally here we get a pattern 1, or excuse me, a pattern 2 or a pattern 3. We don't want a pattern 1. Pattern 1's gonna lose us a bunch of time. It's 1 or 2. Pactar. Shoutouts to Final Fantasy.
Friend.
Ooh, oh, okay, good. Pattern 2. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I get my backup just in case. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 29 and 30. All right, so now we're off to do the next hunt, which is an Anjanath. It's a high-rank version of Anjanath. We're going to fight it in a very similar way. Clagger chaining is just too easy on brutes at this level of the game, so we are going to take advantage of that. And we're going to use Stealth AI here, too, to guarantee his movement while we are doing our ZSDs. Because one thing that can happen, especially on this fight, is that his next attack after... Oh, what am I doing? That's for Pink Rathian. His next attack after we do the ZSD, or while we're finishing the ZSD, might make us clip into a part that will interrupt the Clagger chain. So actually using Stealth here will keep him moving backwards, which means we can consistently land the finisher on the head and keep our Clagger chain going. But I'm going to let this one like speak for itself. There's 1 point of RNG. If I get an early blast proc, I have to kind of adjust, which I'm not usually good at, and is kind of dependent on positioning too, at least in my opinion. Because I love getting that full finisher and then being behind a wall. His spawn location here is a little RNG, but we got a good one. And so we are going to aim at him and shoot. I missed. We're going to try that again. And the nice thing is that as long as we are standing over here, he's going to come right to us.
Very.
All right, good. Whew, all right. So that was only spooky because I usually have more flash pods here, but because we got 17 lists, I had to use like 5 on Rathalos that I wouldn't normally use. But you can just like flash them at the end of that just to make another CSD opening. So I had to use the bomb pod, and I'm lucky that I hit it and I got such a good flinch where I did. But yeah, that was good. That was clean. 227 feels good. Miasma. All right. Oh God, I have 1 flash for Pinky and Sick. Listen, if all goes well, we only need 1. So the next fight is Pink Rathian. Pink Rathian, we have a script for. It is just too easy to lose it. It's hard to readjust to blast procs. Like you just can't. So if you get a blast proc when you don't want one, you're just kind of stuck in ad-lib mode. And I only have 1 flash here, so I don't really have a way to recover from ad-lib. I'm just gonna double check here because I don't think I got. Yeah, I didn't. I have like nothing there. Cool. It's okay. We don't need it. We'll be fine. The other problem about this too is that we just start immediately in the quest, which is really annoying. So we have to be like really fast about what we do here. Oh. Well, it's already messed up, but it should be fine. Oh no, I'm not. I'm out of stealth AI because I took the mantle off. Now I'd be really far away
AI,
from
but
this.
you don't have rock.
That's what you think. We don't have ZSD yet, so this is actually okay. Beautiful. Literally hacking. I missed this. There's no way I hit this. I am a god gamer. I am a god gamer. All right, we're fine. So now we just got to pull her down. We have red icons, so we can actually make her transition areas. Which gives us another opening. Oh my gosh. To ZSD. One and two. Uh-oh. I just need a clagger here, which is like the only problem. Just trying to find like a good opening to get it. Hey, look, a good opening to get it. I hate this game sometimes. This safe.
Oh, perfect.
Huh. And that's 2 pots. So anyways, just do that on your pink Rathians and you win. And by that, I mean just get incredibly good AI and never worry. All right, that's the game making up for that like Vespoid that we had earlier that tried to murder me. Yeah, so much went wrong there. Everything was still working. I'm very impressed that we held that together. It was literally held together by duct tape and glue. Want to make sure that we take this because the pink Rathian scale is the next upgrade part that we needed. Yeah, duct tape and dreams. All right. We are now into the final stretch of the speed run. We no longer have to capture monsters. We have to hunt everything from all of its health to none of its health. We get a 60-second endgame timer, which actually helps us out immensely here. The last little bit of like movement that we have to do is Elder Dragon track gathering. So we have 4 monsters that we have to gather tracks for still. There's no footprint over there. Okay, this one's fine. Actually, this is one that works without 17.
Yeah.
This one just takes really long, which the other one was going to take really long without 17 anyways, so this is probably better.
The other one is still faster than this.
Ow!
So the thing we never considered is how long the run from 17 to the first track is on that pattern.
Yeah, fair. It's still crazy to me.
Yeah.
But this is a slow pattern. The nice thing is, though, is that all of these Elder Dragons, we only need 200 research points, and every pattern is guaranteed to give us 200 research points as of the Iceborne DLC. Before then, there was like maybe 80, 100 on each pattern, so we were doing them multiple times. Now there's a guaranteed 200. You can always finish your investigation on any pattern now, which is awesome. So I'm just going to be running around doing this. I'm at 8 here. So if there's any more donations or... hey, that Kulu is here again. I don't see him often. But any more donations, now, guys, is a great time to donate. Because we're just going to be running around... Yes. We're just going to be running around picking up tracks.
Yep, absolutely. Unfortunately, no new donations, but we are just a little over $250 from meeting our current milestone of $1,500. So,
Very
take
close.
the time that we've got right now.
Yeah, now's a great time to open up another window, do !D in chat, click on that link, consider donating. Now's a fantastic time to do that. 14, 15? Yeah, 13, 14, 15. 16. Yeah, I'm still learning this, but it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Just run this way. Pick up the ones that you see. Smile.
Yep.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, it's 3 more foot tracks. All right, yeah.
Yeah. And there's even, like, a backup here if you missed one.
Yeah. All right, so those are all of our Kushala tracks. The next one's faster, I promise. Right? Yeah, Kushalas take the longest. This area is just so big.
Yeah. Kushala's fastest is, I think, slower than all the other patterns.
Yeah. So next is Teo tracks in the Wildspire Waste. I mean, really, it's just it's just knowing how to identify your pattern quickly and then remembering them. And they've changed a couple times throughout the years, so I definitely have a problem with that because I've committed so many different patterns to memory. It's like, which one's the real one anymore? Do we see blue scout flies here? Yes, we do. We're on the good pattern. This is 1, 2. This one's very easy to remember. Because this one hasn't changed.
Yeah.
What has changed is the donation total.
Let's go.
We now have a $25 donation from Catling once again, saying, "I'm sorry, my precious boy was such a little butthole."
That's quite all right, Catling, and thank you so much. Drop down here. That's 9. 10, 11, 12. You get really good at counting to 20 in this speed run. It's like, if you ever have like problems with that, hear me out. Just speedrun Monster Hunter World and count. That's 18, 19, 20. All right. Very fast. Next is the Rotten Vale for Valhazak's tracks. And these can either be like very, very fast or very, very slow. We're going to hope for very, very fast. I don't know why I'm mashing. I'm mashing like there's about to be a text scene here. 1 or 3? Those blue scout flies at the very beginning tell me if we're on pattern 1 or pattern 3. Is it pattern 1? 1.
Yep.
2. Sure is. 3. 4. 5, 6. Nice. So this is going to be really fast, too. Seven. 8. 9, 10. 11, 12. 15. 16. 17, 18. I'm trying to think if I need to grab... I think I need to grab flash pods, don't I? Because I only have
You
1.
get 2 after Nergi and 2 in the recess.
I don't get 2 after Nergi.
Why not?
Because I can't fit it.
Yeah, you can.
Grabbing the 2 to the right and then getting... Oh, I guess you can, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's tight. Because I got to get that God Bug.
Yeah, you can also grab 2 on the recess expedition.
That's what I was going to do.
And if you miss that God Bug, there's a backup on the way to Val.
Is a backup on the way to Val. It's like in the path, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There's 2
Okay, yeah.
backups on the way to Val, actually.
My gosh, I love this game. Then why do I go for that? I don't know. It's free.
Saves a second.
Hey, Green, you want to talk about the Everstream? You want to talk about the easiest time save in the video game?
Yeah, you might remember Mercer Skip from earlier. This one works the same way. Stay outside of his slow walk radius, and you can run ahead. It's very easy to do. There's a slightly harder version that saves about 10 seconds. I failed the slightly harder version and Mercer Skip in my PB, and then had my time beaten by the exact amount of time those two tricks put together saves.
Yeah,
go-
it's real
you're right.
unfortunate. But yeah, that's Admiral Skip. We did it.
Yep.
That
Literally
easy.
just don't run too early, and it works.
Just count to 2 after he says Nergigante, and it works.
Yep.
This is Green's favorite segment of the speedrun, not just because of Admiral Skip there.
This next section's actually very cool.
This is the coolest form of movement tech we have in the entire game.
Yup.
Whoop, that's the wrong button.
So what we need to do here is we need to spot 3 monsters, and we need to gather 6 Nergigante spikes. Each monster has 2 spikes associated with it, so all of our movement is based around that.
Ooh, good slide.
This first monster, we grab both sets of spikes before entering his cutscene, and when we exit his cutscene, he'll roar, and we don't want to get hit by it. Luckily, we are right on the edge of its radius, so if we move backwards at all, it won't hit us, and we can keep going without any problems.
We used to time dodging that.
Yep.
It was like the coolest thing to get. It's like, we dodged Uragan roar. We did it. And then, like, now it's just, like, pointless.
This one, we grab this first spike, we dodge into the cutscene trigger, which warps us right in front of the second spike, and we use stealth to gather it safely.
Unequip the Gilead Mantle here. And then, yeah, I'm going to grab them just so I have extras.
Yeah.
In case of Kushala. In case I get Kushala'd. A little bit of a time loss just to grab those. I normally wouldn't, but because we use so many extras on Rathalos, I think I need to. Alright, and then the last 2 spikes are across this entire area, so walking into the cutscene on this side warps us all the way over here, which is really nice. And we're just going to grab these 2 and return from quest. Can you get out of my way, please? And that saves us opening up the map and losing some time to the map loading in. So the way we leave a quest is actually, like, very relevant here. Invictus, this speedrun is going to go to Xenojiva. That's considered, like, any percent, but there are categories beyond that, too. Alright, so now that we've done all of the Elder Track gathering, we have unlocked Elder Dragons. Now is the real part of the game. The next 5 hunts are probably like some of the more harder technical ones to do. They're difficult to do perfectly, but the strategy behind them is pretty tame. The first monster that we're going to be fighting is Nergigante. So, spoilers. You guys were, holding out for that. But we're actually going to switch our weapon from Switch Axe to Sword and Shield. We're going to use the Sword and Shield for the last 5 hunts, and you'll see why. So we got to downgrade that first, and we got to upgrade this once and twice, and then we're going to make the cat a weapon. He gets the high rank Pookie Pookie bow. Alright. So Elder Dragons all have auras associated with them. They're pretty much just like special effects that they can generate. Nergigante's aura is his spikes. He can grow spikes at an alarmingly fast rate and use those spikes to hurt us. There are 3 stages of spikes: no spikes, white spikes, and black spikes. We want white spikes. White spikes have the best hit zone value, and when they're broken, Nergigante will topple on the ground, given he's not stuck in another animation. So we actually time out our damage to make sure we get PR finishers to chain a Clagger into a spike break over and over and over again. We do have to adjust to some RNG on this fight, depending on when we get like horn breaks. not spike breaks, but when we actually like break his horns. I'm gonna let green kind of provide that commentary.
Yep. So to start out, we get one wallbang, flopper cut and tenderize on the head. That gets that tenderize for extra damage and drops a thorn pod, which we'll use for a second wallbang and to set up a KO.
Bad movement here. Good movement here.
He is actually immune to a KO during a wallbang topple, so once he stands up from this, we'll need to hit him once to get a flinch out of the way. And after this flinch, we do one KO hit to knock him out. This is the only topple where we aren't worried about timing our PR correctly. We just need to get the damage in. This is actually very good RNG, having both horns unbroken.
Deja vu, can you stop? It's right behind me, isn't he?
Yeah.
No! Literally the worst thing that he could have done there. I probably should have broken the leg, huh? Ad-lib time.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, we're fine. We'll fit it in. One, two, three. Huh? Oh, that's why. Right, yeah, we absolutely need this. Oh, what? Was fitting that in earlier. All right, I just need to break the leg here. Good spike growth. I'm just gonna use this leg break to get my my lock back. When we get it back this time, we should be okay. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. I don't like this positioning. Yeah, his hand's gonna push me out of the way. Yep. Okay, we take those. How and why? One, two, three. One, two, three. All right, good enough.
Nice.
Yeah, so at the very beginning when I dropped the rock, he jumped into the air. That changed kind of like what could happen to him. So instead of him toppling onto the ground for an opener, it gave me a clagger, so it just kind of messed everything up. So I just had to ad-lib there. But fortunately, that wasn't the worst it could have been. It was manageable. That's the word I'll use. It was manageable. Oh, I never put that on my radial. Nah, we don't need it. I mean, we will, but we don't need it. All right, so I'm just trying to make some tight movement here. To the very end. Like we were talking about, I'm just trying to get a god bug here. I'd rather just get it now than trying to pick it up during the Valhazak mission, which it looks like I have plenty of time. So yeah, you're right. Just start grabbing those two at the end. I was like wondering why I had so much time at the end of this quest timer.
Yeah.
Remember this being a lot tighter, and then I just stopped grabbing those flashes.
Yep.
All right. that's our first Elder Dragon. This is also our last upgrade material that we need. We now have the strongest version of this weapon, Defender 5. This is actually a weapon that I take into Master Rank, and if I don't get any upgrades, I'll actually use it to finish Master Rank. It's a little bit difficult to do that because we don't have a lot of sharpness, but it is possible. It just takes a lot longer. But this is the best version of this weapon that we can get at this point in the game, which is awesome. So now we are doing insane amount of damage for the last 4 hunts of the speed run. So you guys, if you want to get donations in before the end of this run, now is the time to do it. We've only got 4 monsters left. Our movement here is going to look a little goofy too, because now it's telling us, hey, the Elder Dragons have awoken. Go and gather their footprints and come back and tell us about them, but we already did that. So we're gonna like move around in a very strange way. It's just gonna look a little weird. But trust me, it's fast. And I know that because Green timed it all out.
Yep.
Quick upgrade here. Defender 5. Hatchet. War Hatchet. We've got the battle axe here. It's not even a sword, it's an axe. The best kind of sword. This is a really cool way to like end out a speed run, you know, like doing all of these hunts back to back to back is just always a spectacle, and I really enjoy it because these fights are also very cool. And the first monster that we're gonna fight is Teostra. Just got to talk to the chief ecologist a couple times here because they never intended us to do this all at once. All right. And then now we just got to talk to these guys. We're actually not going to talk to FTL there on the right. We're going to skip him for now. We're just going to come and talk to the huntsman first. And then back to the research base because we got to talk to the 3rd Fleet Master. She's the one that sits at the top of the research base here. It's all very clever routing here, courtesy of Green. Put a lot of work into this. Very, very clever the way we do all this. All right, so Teostra. Green, you want to tell us a little bit about Teostra and his auras and his fight?
Yeah. So Teostra can spawn with one of 2 auras, either Blast or Fire. Blast is infinitely better in every scenario, for 2 reasons. First off, in Blast aura, or in Fire aura, he has a constant AoE around him until we topple him enough times. That's just constantly hurting us, and it makes the fight a lot scarier. And the other is Fire aura has 1 attack that can break our lock even if we're playing perfectly, just because it comes out so quickly. Blast aura doesn't have that attack. It is complete RNG which one we get though, so hope for Blast aura, and if it's Fire aura, hope he doesn't do the 1 attack.
Green made an entire script so you didn't have to hit that dodge, and I don't think I've missed it in a month.
You missed it 2 days ago.
I don't think I missed it 2 days ago. Huh. Uh-oh. Alright, so unfortunately I missed my PR finisher there. Now I'm just trying to get him not in this corner. Oh my god, that hit me. That could be the worst right now. Did I overwrite it? I had to have. So this is what making a single mistake looks like. There we go. Thank you, Blast Proc. All right, we're fine now. Now we just don't make any mistakes. Oh, is that the attack?
No, it's the bite. That one.
Yeah. Alright, good. Oh gosh, that was a very far fall. Yeah. Actually, don't want you to drop there. I need you to move. Oh my gosh. I'm getting the worst AI. So the ground here, as long as he hits it with an attack, will explode. And that damages me. He is going to roar after this. There we go.
Nice.
Making a conscious effort to look out for that. You take those. Not enough. You know what? We're just gonna play this safe. Oh my gosh, what is happening to me? Thank you. Yeah, he really was just one PR away from finish, and we just made that one little last mistake. That's A-okay. The thing to remember is carting is bad. Carting, like, especially here, I think this is the quest that loses the most time if you cart to it. It's like a minute and a half that you would just lose running all the way back down here. But just getting out of that and not dying is super important. So that's why I just started like kind of playing it safe. Just needed to make sure that we got that one done. Especially really messing up my PR timings there. I need to go back and figure out why I'm messing that up. Let's just slow on a couple of them.
On the claggers or the topples?
I mean, both. I missed both of those.
I mean, one of the topples you got hit out of, so you didn't have time to do your normal combo. And
Yeah.
The clagger you missed was just you clutched on from too far away.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah, 441. It's still sub 5. It could be sub 4, but it is A-okay. Next is Valhazak. Valhazak doesn't have a full lock, unfortunately, but he does have a pseudo lock, where we use the Pierce Pod Slinger Burst again to kind of chain chest staggers and claggers together. This one can also just be lost for like literally no reason. It's seemingly RNG whether or not it stays or not. If we over damage a part, then we just lose it. But it's like hard to not over damage. I don't know. This fight is something.
Yeah, it's an annoying thing where we know why it breaks, we don't know how to avoid the thing that causes it, and we don't know how to recover it.
Yeah, usually you just have to wait until you get like another clagger, and then you can recover off of that. But it's just like it's really difficult thing to kind of balance here. Oh, there's that god bug. Okay, I saw it.
Yep. And there's another like on the rib cage in the floor here.
Yeah, like to the left there. Yeah, I saw it. Whoa, you can do that? we don't have to push the vines. It's just faster to blow them up. All right, there's Val. Stinky. I'll uppercut the roar just because it's more consistent. Okay, this is good enough AI. We just want him to get close to this wall so we can wallbang him, and that gives us an opening to tenderize his chest. Nice. And so then now we need to deal 300 damage to his chest. So we just kind of have to, like, react to his movement here. 1. 2. At like 2.5. Need one more hit. Come on. All right, 3. And so this first Slinger Burst, I want him to kind of to do a chest stagger first. Perfect. And then we want a Clagger here. Beautiful. All right, and then now we're just going to keep that kind of pattern going. That was spooky. We're okay. That's like the one thing that he can do. What just happened to my control there? There we go. Yeah, and we lost it. Sick. 4 Pierce Pods gets it back, but... Gonna try to do 300 damage. That was 74. 100, 200. All right, a Clagger should reset it, but it probably doesn't. Thick. Thick. Get bumped here. Nope, no bump. So yeah, I have no idea how to get it back now, so we're just gonna wail on it. Oh, hey, look, that works. Oh, wait, which side? All right, there we go. Flagger? Nope. No, baby jail. Flagger? No. Flagger? Need to get to the side of you. There we go. Flagger? Oh god. We're fine. We're less fine. Alright, we're fine. Okay, for, like, how that went, that actually went okay. But that wasn't, like, the worst it could have gone. We actually, like, we zero transitioned it, which means, you know, we kept him in this area, because he will leave and stand under that rock, and that means we get an opportunity to drop that rock, which is nice, but it's slow. And we don't really want to be doing that. But he did give us just, like, a nice opportunity to keep getting them, and we got really good AI kind of towards the end there that we could just keep abusing it. And I got the lock back, which was important. 3, yeah, that makes 4 or 5. All right, we're good on flashes. I just need to craft my max potion. There we go. All right, good. Yeah, that went okay. That was still really good. Ideally, you know, we just full lock him the entire time, but that's kind of how those go. 5 exactly. That's pretty funny. Yeah, 5 minutes good. So 2 hunts left. Kushala and then Xeno Jiva, the final fight. All right. Green, you want to tell us about Kushala?
Yes, Kushala is interesting. Unlike Teostra, Kushala doesn't have a flinch on his head, which also means he does not have a clagger on his head. He only has a topple, so as long as we deal our damage correctly, we'll just be able to keep chaining head topples. Which, with Sword and Shield, is much easier than having to alternate between a head topple and a clagger, because a head topple lasts so much longer than a clagger we can fit more damage in.
The opening of this, too, is a little difficult, so I'm going to do my best to, like, not mess it up. Because it's just all timing based. But I need to hit him into this wall at the right time. Sounds like easier than it actually is. Perfect. I always go for it.
Nice.
I overdamaged?
I think that's actually under damage, maybe?
That's overdamage. There we go. All right, we got it back. We're good. I got really lucky there because I absolutely overdamaged the head, but that was a horn break. And dead. Nice. All right, that was a little sloppy, but still really good recovery. All right. The
I have no
last
clue how
monster.
that- I have no clue how that didn't overdamage.
Well, it was the horn break.
The horn break can happen during a topple.
Oh, true. Well, it's the low PR threshold, or part break. Something. I don't know, man. It absolutely overdamaged the head topple. Like 100%. But yeah, I mean, I was pretty confident in the horn break. Because I think the only thing that can break the horn there would be PR2, unless I like super overrode it, and then maybe the first hit of finisher could have.
Yeah, because horn break just happens when you hit a head threshold enough times and he's low enough health. It's
Yeah.
not a separate.
No, yeah, fair. Yeah, you're right. All right, last monster. We're going into the
time.
final fight, and this one is very, very cool. Oh, wow, that was still sub 3?
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. I even had to flash it.
Yep.
Gaming? Feels like a gaming moment.
Yeah, because you over damaged enough times, but got good AI after, I guess.
Ah, that's really the strategy, is just get lucky. All right. This is the final fight. The last one. So if you've got any more donations in you, now is the time to do it. What are we doing? This fight, I mean, Green, I'm just gonna let you talk about this one really quick while we're going into it, because it's a cool one to watch for sure.
Yeah. So this monster, similar to Kashala, we're gonna bully one body part and keep knocking it over. In this case, it's the... I can't do left and right.
Left.
It's the hand. Left hand. So our strategy here is going to be using the Slinger Burst. You may have seen it earlier when we were using the Piercing Pod. We're just going to use normal stones because it's the highest ammo we have access to right now, and we need to be able to do it a bunch of times. We're going to be able to use Slinger Burst to start a PR from a distance and just keep chaining hand topples.
Good AI, good AI, good AI. Good AI, let's go.
Perfect AI. So this rock drop does 5% of its health and flinches it to open us up for a Tenderize.
Not the direction I want him facing. But that is.
Good RNG to get him under the second rock. This will enrage him, unfortunately, which will make his topples a little shorter. But it's worth it for the extra damage.
Huh. A little break here, at least.
Yeah.
Alright, and then it'll transition after this one. Dang. I got put in a really weird spot, but that's okay. Still very good phase one. Getting 2 rock drops in a phase 1 is very good, and we got an amazing opener. Alright, so moving into phase 2. 14 stone will probably end with 3 or 4.
Yeah.
If I get this perfect. Oh, this is like the worst attack he could have done. Red icon. Yellow, slow PR. Damn it. Alright, I'm gonna use this moment to actually retenderize the arm. Well. At least I'm alive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Almost ran directly into that. That'd have been really funny.
Yep.
Alright, so that's retenderized now. Now. Woo!
Oh my god.
Don't worry about me. I need him to move out of that corner. And you don't, maybe? Alright, whatever. What is happening? Oh, it targeted the cat. That's what's happening. Super crit. Literally early super crit into Enrage? What's happening? I'm not even at the 5-minute mark. Can you explain super crit?
Yeah, so in this phase, Xeno can't be toppled from his hand anymore, but his chest becomes a much better weak spot and has its own topple. So we'll have to use that now.
Gosh. And he's ending it? What? All right, there we go.
Nice.
Time! I always forget about time with this game. That's time. Oh. All right, well, that wasn't the best Xeno, but it was still sub 6, and I got super crit and super crit finisher, which is super goofy. It was so weird. I've never seen a super crit happen before 5 minutes.